Welcome to Facebook Live and Tuesday Tips Live from the Digital DJ Tips Studio here in Gibraltar. And it's a big one today. We're talking about DJ versus playlist, or DJ versus machine. This is something that has been heavily debated over on the Digital DJ Tips website in the past few days, with lots and lots of people diving in to give us their experiences of how to survive out there as a DJ when basically playlists are everywhere. And all kinds of venues and all kinds of people who might normally book you as a DJ saying, you know what, I'll just use a playlist. What can we do to fight back against that kind of thing? So the first thing I want to talk about here, by the way, I'd love to hear what you think beneath, whether you experience this yourself. If you know a DJ who you think would love to hear this conversation, then please hit share now and get it out to your network. We want to get as many people as possible on this Facebook Live. And please like this if you're seeing stuff that you like, but please do interact. I'm going to attempt to dial up the stream on my phone. I'm heroically bad at viewing the stream, but I will attempt to find the stream on my phone. And when I do so, I will read out some hellos and so on. So, yeah, so we're talking here about, how we're going to deal with this, how we're going to deal in the DJ world with machines. And if you think it's not true, then I think it's time to have a bit of a rethink, because what we're hearing a lot here is that people who are maybe not having a lot of money to spend on something like a wedding or an event are saying, oh, you know what, I'll just do a Spotify playlist, it'll be all right. I went to a wedding recently where they did just that. They did a really good job of it. They just had one of those speakers with one speaker in it, and they had a Spotify playlist plugged into it, and the guy had spent an awful lot of time getting the music right, and it worked. People danced all night. It was a great wedding. So, this is real. And also, there's always going to be room for big DJs in big venues, right? But if you look at smaller venues, if you look at bars, and if you look at the places where really it's just about going and meeting people, letting your hair down, etc., it's not really about dancing. These kind of venues are thinking very hard now about whether it's worth spending money on DJs, because they can put some awesome playlists live. Now, there are companies out there now, including, by the way, Spotify. They've got their own Spotify for Business, which will actually allow you to subscribe. It costs a bit more than the $10 or £10 or euros you pay a month for normal Spotify, but businesses can subscribe and they can have all kinds of scheduled playlists going on, music going day and night, never the same song twice, all that kind of cool stuff. So basically what we've got here is an issue where people are not booking DJs. So what can we do about it? Right, okay, so as I said, I'm going to try my heroically and as hard as I can to find this stream on my damn phone so I can interact with you people about it. But for now, let's just talk about what we can do. So the first thing is we can add value. We can add stuff which a computer can't add. Now, it's really very easy to set up live music for your venue via a Spotify playlist where it keeps changing and stuff, and so you don't have to worry about the same song happening twice. So what we need to do as DJs is be better than that. And one of the ways of being better than that is just not causing any hassle, not causing the person who would otherwise book you to think, you know what, I can't be bothered with this guy, I can't be bothered with this girl. What I'm going to do is just use a Spotify playlist. And the reason I'm going to use a Spotify playlist is that this person, frankly, is a pain in the arse to deal with. They're arrogant, they're always questioning stuff, they're always moaning. I can't be bothered with it. A machine is less trouble. So if you want to compete against that kind of thing, then you have to, frankly, be more amenable. You need to be very reliable. You need to turn up on time. You need to make sure that everything you do is based around making life easy for the person who owns the venue. One real issue that people have, DJs who are playing out for the first time have, is that they think that the venue managers and the venue owners are worried about the music. They think that, I've got to get the music right. So they turn up and they say to the venue manager, yeah, I think I'm going to play deep house and some underground stuff, and then later on I'm going to kind of live. The manager doesn't want to hear that. What the manager wants to hear is you're reliable, you're friendly, you're going to turn up, you're going to cause no hassle, you're not going to be too loud, you're not going to be too quiet, you're just going to play music that the punters like. And that's it. That's where most 90% of managers, that's where they stop worrying. So if you can deliver that service, you're halfway there. Because people prefer to have a live DJ there. It's nice to have a DJ stood there doing stuff, but they don't want the hassle. So the first point here, if you want to beat the playlist, is add value and don't be a hassle person. Be very, very easy to work with. I managed to get the stream on the go, by the way, so I'm going to say hello to a few people before we move on to point number 2. We're talking about DJ versus playlist. We're talking about how to remain relevant in this age where the Spotify playlist is everywhere, and even, wedding wedding clients are saying, oh, I'm just going to use a Spotify playlist, and certainly the bar on the corner of your street is. So that's what we're talking about, and we have number 2 coming up in a minute. So hello first to Wilfredo, hi to Jeff, hi to Lauren and Jefferson, hi to Sasha, who's always here, nice to have you. Hello to John, hello to Joey over there in the Philippines, staying up late for this one. Hi to DJ Radu, who says, what controller do you have here? It's a DDJ 1000, DJ Radu. Mario Luna's watching, one of our ambassadors from our Mobile DJ Blueprint course. Great to have you here. Okay, so there's a few hellos. If you want a hello, please just put it down there in the comments. And please share this page so all the DJs out there can see these tips. And by the way, if you've just started watching, you can watch the replay afterwards and catch point number 1 in DJ versus playlist. Okay, so point number 2 in DJ versus playlist is build a fan base. One thing a Spotify playlist cannot do is build a fan base. One thing that just hitting play on any iTunes list cannot do is build a fan base. No one follows an iTunes playlist. No one follows a Spotify playlist. Well, they do, but you know what I mean. So it is up to you as a DJ nowadays to build your own fan base. And people say, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm a DJ. I'm not a promoter. I don't want to get involved in that stuff. It's rubbish. Every single DJ is a one-man or one-woman operation. You're a business, and businesses need clients. So you've got to find these clients, and you've got to make sure that they know when you're playing, and you've got to make sure that you incentivize them to come out. Now, we could talk for days about this. We've built whole courses teaching people to do this. But really, the basics are very, very simple. Make sure you do something people want. There's no point playing music no one wants. Make sure you've got at least a Facebook page, and you're incentivizing people to come and join you. You're giving away links to your mixes on Mixcloud. You're posting great photos. You're taking photos at your gigs and giving people a card saying, come to the Facebook page and see the picture. You're doing videos. You're doing everything you can think of to get people onto your page so that when you say, I've got a gig this Saturday, people come. It doesn't take much for a bar owner to see that you're putting your bit in and you're delivering more than just turning up and playing music. And all you need is 5-10 people. That's it, right? They can see where the money's coming from to pay your wages now because they've stayed and they've had a few drinks. It's a no-brainer. So you have to build a fan base. There is no way around that. And if you want to get paid as a DJ, anyway, there's no way around that. But certainly now when you're competing against Spotify playlists, other DJs who might say, I'll come and do it with my laptop for 20 quid or whatever, you've got to build a fan base. And of course, if you keep doing it, the longer you do it and the more work you put into it, the better you get at it, the bigger your fan base, the more money you can charge and the more you move away from Spotify playlists that we're talking about here. So, okay, let's go back and see if we've got a few more people to say hello to down here. Alan says, I'm just reading about something in Northern Ireland, he's saying. I've never heard of a DJ being replaced by artificial intelligence near where I live, I think Alan's saying. Well, we were talking earlier, Alan, about the fact that it's when people say, you know, I've got a wedding and I've already booked the venue and I've already booked the flowers and I can't really afford a DJ. John, can you do us a really nice playlist for our wedding? That's where it's chipping away at what DJs do. And also we were talking about the bar on the corner that doesn't employ a DJ because they just think, you know what, this new Spotify thing's great. It's £30 or $30 a month to get all the music I want. It never plays the same tune twice. I can say what mood kind of music I want. That's what we're fighting against here. So hello to Brian in South Africa. Hello to John who says, can you move the camera up a bit? I'll tell you what's happened. The camera has dropped a bit. So I'll tell you what, I'll just move down a bit like this. Hello to another John. Hi to Timothy who's in San Jose. Good to have you all here. We're talking about DJ versus machine. DJ versus Spotify playlist. How you can succeed in this time when Spotify is kind of everywhere. And, you know, again, there's some people saying, oh, this is rubbish. It's not how it is. Look at it this way. Back in the old days, when there was no internet, which isn't that long ago, there was a need for DJs to turn up with music because, yeah, you could buy a CD, and some people had these big CD racks in their studios, which, behind their bars and stuff, which you could put like 15 CDs in, and it would play them kind of random. But there were big gaps between the music. In the end, it would play the same thing again and again and again. It was just better to have a live DJ there because they would vary the music up. There'd be no gaps between it, frankly. And, you know, it was a bit of a no-brainer. But unfortunately, what's happened now is the need for someone to physically bring a pile of music, whether it's CDs or whether it's records or whatever, to a venue in order for there to be music there, has gone. Because you can just dial into the internet and get constant music that's always changing with no gaps between it. And at the base level, that's what DJs do. It's just like when DJs came along, bands, there were hundreds of bands in most decent sized cities just going around setting up in bars and playing music all night because there was no other way of having music in the bars. They were replaced by DJs playing records. And this is kind of the next part of that. It's the edges being eaten away by playlists. So how do we fight it? So moving on to number 3. Well, number 3 is doing stuff that computers cannot do. Spotify is getting better. Spotify is able now to pretty convincingly beat mix stuff. There's a couple of playlists on Spotify now where they're using artificial intelligence to beat mix songs. And you can rearrange the songs, the order you want to play them in, and it'll still beat mix them. So Spotify is getting good at doing basic beat mixing. But DJing is moving beyond basic beat mixing, right? The best DJing now is incorporating all kinds of other stuff, all the new rules of DJing. On a controller like this, you've got loops, you've got beat loops, you've got filters, you've got all kinds of effects. You can use cue juggling, you can use tone play, you can fix the key, you can shift the key, in other words, sync the key between music. You can do some really cool stuff. And that allows you to play DJ sets with big wide genre changes and big wide BPM changes and all that kind of stuff that really makes you stand out as a DJ. And this is, I think, the biggest opportunity for DJs here, stepping up your mixing game so that you're doing stuff that the computers could never do. Now, all of our controllers can do this stuff, so I don't want anyone saying, oh, I can't do that. And also, people think, oh, you've got to be creative to do that. I just want to play music. Really, you haven't. You just have to know how DJs think and how they put together these mixes when they do these big BPM and genre changes and all this clever stuff, which, again, computers are never going to get, right? So the 3 ways to kind of differentiate yourself from Spotify playlists are to be very easy to work with and to not make yourself, an easy choice against, because Spotify playlists don't cause any hassle for the venue owner, and you do. You've got to be nice, you've got to be reliable, you've got to turn up, you've got to be likable, you've got to do everything you can to make it easy to book you. Secondly, build a fan base, because you bring fans and you separate yourself from computers. They cannot get fans in the way we can. And thirdly, change the way you mix so that what you do is original and it's the kind of thing that is worth booking because it's different from just hitting play on a playlist that Spotify is beat mixing. And this is a way to get bookings when otherwise you might just find some of your smaller bookings are getting chipped away by all this artificial intelligence that's coming in. Right, let's go back to what people are talking about down here. Hello to Joe Simpson, hi to Brian, hi to John, hello to William. Brian says, how do you deal with requests? That's a good question actually, Brian. Should we deal with that one quickly? Requests are best dealt with a pad, I think. If you can have a little pad by your DJ booth, say, yeah, write down there what you want. That kind of puts a bit of distance between you and the person asking the request. You should always be pleasant. You know, people have got a right to ask you for music. If you were going to play it anyway, say to them, what a great idea, I'll play that for you. People love to think it was their idea, so you're getting a bit of goodwill out on the dance floor there. If you're not going to play it, I might play it later, but don't be bullied. You're not there to play requests. Requests are just that, they're requests. People are requesting something. And don't also, you know, when someone sends a really pretty girl or boy over, if you're a girl DJ, and says, oh, my friend over there, it's their birthday, can you play this for them? Generally it isn't, or else the friend would have asked you in the first place. And also things like, you know, we're going in a minute, can you play it now? Not your problem. So you've got to kind of draw the line, but requests are one of the biggest issues for DJs, I think it's true to say. Hi to Juanmi, hi to Richard, hi to Jerry Mimi. John says, in the old days, DJs used a microphone to separate themselves from mixed CDs. That's very true. And actually, it's a good point, John. You can still use a microphone. We don't want to be cheesy with the microphone, but if that's something that your crowds might like, you can read out birthdays and stuff. It's another way of differentiating yourself. Okay, so Keek says, beyond key and beat mixing, please remember not to get too button happy. One strong mix every 40 minutes maximum. Well, the good thing about the kind of modern mixing techniques, Keeks, is you ought to have a balance. So it's possible to do really cool genre and BPM changes while people don't really notice. It's smooth. You're using all the tricks to hide what you're doing. And then, as you say, it's also possible to be a bit showman-like with it all and to do stuff that people notice. And I agree, you don't want to be doing too much of that. But, you know, some of the styles of mixing nowadays, it's more about what you choose to play next and being creative about what you choose to play next and having simple but effective ways of getting from track to track. And that creativity, again, is something that a playlist cannot... A playlist is always reductive. They always look at what has been done before and do a version of it that's not quite as good. They can't be creative in the way that DJs can. So that's what I'm talking about, not kind of showing off all the time. Thank you for that, Keeks. Hi to Dan, hi to Sipong, and hi to Chase from Aruba. Good to have you here. Jose says song choices in key is worth doing. And Steve says customers don't really understand exactly what DJs do. Steve, that is such a good point. It's such a good point. You know, so if you can make it visible, if you can make what you're doing visible, it really helps. You know, it could be as simple as using a phone on the decks and plugging it into the screens in the venue, or getting yourself set up somewhere. You know, if you get a choice of where to set up in a venue, saying to the owner, look, you've booked me, put me there where people can see me. And then they can see what I'm up to, and then they'll be getting more value from it, and they'll be understanding a little bit more about what's going on. That's such a good point. Thank you for that. So I think we're probably done here. Please, if you've just joined us, we've been talking about DJ versus playlist, and you've missed an awful lot of good stuff here. Some great comments from our audience as well. So do watch this from the beginning. You'll be able to watch the replay very shortly. And if you are watching this on the replay, subscribe. Hit the share button, subscribe, follow, do all that stuff, and you'll hear about these when they go live, and you won't have to catch up on the replay. Please still ask questions underneath. We're here for you. We're going to answer these whenever they're asked, now, tomorrow, next week. So if you are watching this on the replay, don't worry, ask your questions. We want to help you. I also want to give you this link here, because in a couple of days, we're going to be announcing something which helps you to do the kind of mixing I've just been talking about. It's only for our members, but joining Digital DJ Tips is absolutely free. So if you click the link that I just put on the screen there, we can let you know about that in a couple of days. But if you don't sign up there, you're not already a member, you won't hear about it at all for, I think, till July. And you won't want to miss that if this is the kind of thing that you think you want to be introducing into your DJing. So that's all from us here at Digital DJ Tips today. I hope you've enjoyed this Facebook Live from our studio here in Gibraltar, and I will see you next week for the next one. Same time, same place.